After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between. But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people. I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is... Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately... no hope of restoring things without these. My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style. Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this. My parents took this after I made my first repair. It seems like a lifetime ago. Who doesn't love a scrunchie? Practical and stylish. I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman, at your service. Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days. Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple stationery. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring it out. My story in Bellariva began with a little girl and a voice. It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet. In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva... I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tap. It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this... Why did you do that? How did you do that? I didn't see.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I...
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever. It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a... She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, a part I wouldn't be able to fix. My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing... I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel, and the address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from me. The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day.
I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking...
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it? It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes... Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks. Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label. Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together? Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make...
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's...
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things...
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hope... My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and... Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers. I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's... Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen...
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister. Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong? Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this. You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up. the phone back to Carmen. She seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry? That's if I can pay my phone bill, anyway. And the rent, and the suppliers.
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, as she talked, Carmen became more and more tense.
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel...
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee. Her hands.
Actually, I might have another job for you.
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked. The woman in front of me was immaculate, not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen. So this was Carmen's sister? Inside her room, I saw a beautiful...
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong. I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to her.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's,
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena. It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absent.
Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm...
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready. The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but...
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds...
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension.
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money...
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon. So there was supposed to be a sign-up.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try? I don't know, it's a bit, flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
It works! I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set. The sign fixed, we headed outside.
Oh, that's perfect, Maria. It looks just how
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in the city.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain. Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back. And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's... It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. I'd barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me. It was Izzy, peeking out. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my...
Can you fix it for me?
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a inch world of her own. Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for you. Why would he think that?
Because,
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes.
my dad said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the woods. It made me think. I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around. It was only then I noticed my favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I was, repairing, totally embarrassed. You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward?
I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. I'll have a tight schedule.
The main plate has completely cracked. I'll need to replace it. The cogs look good, though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
Are you sure it will all fit back together? I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife. Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel.
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was... As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor. I hoped its quiet tick... When my last job of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic. It definitely wasn't Helena's style.
We're having a clear-out. Or at least I am. Carmen's not helping. As... She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena?
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen...
That light bulb is completely smashed. Okay, I'll need to redirect the...
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here. I was so excited when I moved to the city. Carmen, she looks so sad. Here's the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
I think I've missed a screw somehow.
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around. I suppose she looked up to me. A cool older sister. She used to ask me when I was coming home, but I was always too busy.
Helena was transfixed, staring.
I never meant to let her down. That's the problem. Carmen thinks I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them. You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth.
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self, projected onto.
I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't.
The day of the festival finally came, and after all my hard work, I was ready to put down my tools and pick up. The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were. All of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables.
Helena was supposed to help me run the stall today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed.
Carmen was stirring so furiously, she wasn't really.
I have a stall.
I think that pot is really boiling now. Smells great, if I say so myself. Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first? Oh, her recipe is a bit smudged. Never mind, I'm sure whatever I put in will be fine. Looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve. My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches.
That was so...
Well, you've certainly earned yourself a loyal customer in my...
Joseph and Izzy looked so happy together. Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
I wish Helena...
She wants what's best for you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then...
The festival finished. I only had one. I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable.
Maria! My favorite sous chef. Come on.
Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place. Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs.
She was selling her camera to clear the cafe's debts. But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I wanted to give her this. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on. Here's the problem. This wiring isn't connected properly. If I turn the volume up, I should be able to hear it now. I think that should do it. This record should play beautifully. It's spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play in the right direction? It must be to do with the motor. Let's see if one of these spares can turn things around. Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
What will remain of these days? The sweetest word I've ever heard. What will remain of the smile?
The ones that stole my heart that day.
The record player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear as she appeared. Leaning over the music, they looked. Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved. I'm going to stay here with her for a while.
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared. I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. But the silence between us was so cavernous. My final morning in Bellariva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's. When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already...
You've made quite the impression. Isabel... Izzy? She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival.
Inside, the house was transformed.
It's a music box. I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing. Maria, could you add this family picture of us?
This mechanism is completely broken. I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it. Perfect. The mechanism is good as new. Still a few parts missing. I think that's everything back together again. I should play it to make sure.
My wife used to sing this song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always worked too late to join them. Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will. I've missed so much already. I want to be the father I've ended up so much like my own father. Working. My daughter comes first.
I'll never ever get bored of you, Dad.
She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy. Joseph was a good father, and I could tell he was My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left, I knew there was something of my own I needed to fix. My time in Bellariva was almost at an end. The people I'd met, the items. Pulling out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop. As I packed, I knew that it was up to me. Helena gave me these designer shirts. Not sure I'll pull them off as well as she does. My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip. My train ticket. I can't believe it's time to leave Bellariva behind. My suitcase was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be leaving Bellariva behind. Helena and Carmen's reunion was possible because Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way. They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us. But did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure. Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
Dear Maria, luckily I have Helena here to help. You wouldn't recognise her. She's always running around, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer on their outfit. Personally, she misses the city though. Bellariva's many things, but she said there was a coffee shop near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top. It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times. Taking this apart will be easy. These pipes look pretty simple. I should start with them. Oh, I wish Maria was here. She'd know how to put these pipes together. How can there be so much steam? Ugh, I'm getting soaked. Why is there so much steam? That can't be right. Finally, no more steam. I think that's everything. Better test the buttons, just to make sure. All done. Piece of cake. Time to make my first coffee, I think. Smells delicious. Now to make it look magical. A perfect coffee. All it needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favourite biscuits. I was feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink fit for human consumption. Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it. When she finally spotted it, though, I'll admit, she spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. It made me realise how much I have to thank you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better.